Leo, December is all about staying the course and continuing the process. A lot of you may be feeling pretty good this month because your self-esteem is high, or you're working on your self-esteem, which will only be reflected back to you in the people that are closest to you. You'll want to make sure that you keep the status quo, especially as it pertains to career, because making any sudden moves may not work out in your favor. Want to know more? Keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and I am here to help you uncover your divinity and discover your magic. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me over there at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I've got a ton of tarot, manifestation, astrology content that will really help you out. So follow me over there so you don't miss out on any of that good stuff. All right, so this is going to be the astro forecast and tarot scope for the month of December 2021. I don't know about you, but I'm still kind of blown that it is December of 2021. I felt like 2021 sounded so futuristic, it sounds so far away, and now we are at the tail end of it, and can't say I'm mad about that. I mean, I'm ready to move on, hopefully to bigger and better things, and I believe that 2022 is going to give us just that. But before I get ahead of myself, it's time to talk about the here and now, and as always, you know the deal, we start with the So the theme of this month, if we had to sum up December in one sort of short, concise sentence, it would be when one door closes, another opens. That's sort of how this month is playing out, because we begin the month right in the thick of eclipse season. So 2 weeks ago, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And then right at the beginning of December, we have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. So eclipses are the universe's way of sort of cleaning things up in our lives and in society in general. So eclipses either take things out of our lives or put things in. It's the universe's way of setting order. And so when we have this kind of energy, it's sort of like you not only have to roll with the punches, but you have to be open to receiving and letting go of what you want on the one hand and what no longer serves you on the other. And that's pretty much how this month is going to go. Again, the highlight of this month is the new moon solar eclipse. But another way to think about this month, or another way to look at this month, is that there's a lot of movement this month, a lot of energy shifts. So we have 4 planets that are actually changing signs. We've got 2 planets that are changing directions, and we have an eclipse. So if you find that at the end of the month, if you're sort of assessing how December was for you, and you feel like December sort of had you feeling unsettled, a little bit unstable, that's because things are shifting and moving around. And that energy actually started last month in November with the eclipse, okay? So it's, like I said before, it's really about rolling with the punches and sort of letting things, let the chips fly, let things sort of move as they need to, and then sort of assess and get a lay of the land, all right? So let's go through the month chronologically and see what we've got. So we open up the month with the planet Neptune going direct in its home sign of Pisces. So Neptune was retrograde from June 25th of this year, and now it is turning direct. And we all know that when a planet goes retrograde, it's like you sort of take the energy and the characteristics of that planet and you direct it inward. So instead of things being directed outward in your life, you're taking a hard look at yourself, you're reflecting, you're remembering, you're doing all of that with respect to that particular planet's energy. So Neptune is all about fantasy. It's all about illusion. It's about love. It's about dreams, those kind of things. And so when Neptune went retrograde back in June, all of that stuff kind of went out the window. Neptune retrograde allows you to see the realness, the harshness, and the ugliness of life. And trust and believe, I think we can all agree that we've really been seeing that. Definitely over the last couple of years, but specifically as Neptune has been retrograde, we've been seeing things for what they really are. The rose-colored glasses come off and we see life as it is. But now that Neptune is going direct, now we're going to be able to take what we've learned while Neptune was retrograde and apply that to life and be optimistic. Regardless of what we've seen, the harshness and ugliness of life, I feel like now we're able to move forward and we can dream again. We can have high hopes. We can be optimistic despite the reality of, life. But you sort of take that, it's like you take the things that you've learned while Neptune was retrograde and you apply it to, your life going forward, but you're more optimistic, you're more hopeful. All right. So that's really how Neptune direct is going to affect us. And it all depends on where that falls in your chart. Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces. So its energy is extra potent. It's great for creative endeavors. It's great for us to recognize and appreciate humanity on a collective level. It's about being selfless, compassionate, empathic. So all of these things are going to we're going to be able to feel those things again. Okay. So that's how we start out the month. And then the star of the month is, like I said, the new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and that's going down on Saturday, December 4th. So new moons are all about new beginnings, and a new moon solar eclipse is a new beginning in a very big way. It's like a new moon on steroids. This particular solar eclipse, I should say, really is about like an ending and a beginning wrapped up in one. That's kind of why I said the theme for this month is when one door closes, another opens. On the one hand, not only is this the final eclipse in the Gemini Sagittarius cycle that we've kind of been going through for the last 18 months or so, it's also happening at the 12th degree. And the 12th degree is the Pisces degree. And as we know, Pisces is the final sign in the zodiac. So there is a certain element of finality with this particular eclipse. So like I said, something is going to end and something is going to begin sort of simultaneously. Although you're not going to feel it right in the moment. It's not like Saturday is going to get here and you're going to be like, okay, something ends, something begins, I'm done. This energy is fluid and it's definitely playing out over the next couple of months. So be prepared for things to sort of shift within that time frame. This new moon solar eclipse allows us to have a clean slate and a fresh start, and it eclipses things into our lives. So I don't know about you, but at the time of the full moon lunar eclipse last month, I experienced a lot of endings. People that I was close to, someone that I was very close to passed away. Things were very jarring, things were sort of being eclipsed out. Now at this new moon solar eclipse, you may notice that things are being eclipsed in, things are being added to your life. People may be coming in, you may be going to a new place, experiencing new things, especially being in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius likes to live large and in charge. It's all about adventure, broadening your horizons. So it's going to be this very expansive new beginning. There's also going to be an element of limitation and unexpected happenings with this new moon solar eclipse because we've got Uranus and Saturn in the mix. And I'm going to do a separate video on these eclipses generally and go more into the astrology of each particular eclipse. But just know that things may be a little difficult. Things, Saturn is an energy of limitation, of obstacles. It's also of endings also, and karma. So you may find that things are finally wrapping up in a particular area of your life, only for a new door to open and a new adventure, to embark upon. So that's sort of how this eclipse is playing out. All right. So moving right along, we have Mercury entering into Capricorn on December 13th. And Mercury in Capricorn is very serious. Our thoughts, our communications become serious, practical, down to earth. We become more focused and think more about work, being disciplined, perhaps overcoming obstacles. A lot of what we talk to people about and a lot of what we think about centers around work. It centers around serious matters. So that's how Mercury in Capricorn is going to play out. And again, that's going down on December 13th. That same day, December 13th, Mars is going to be moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Mars being a fire sign and moving into a fire sign makes Mars sort of extra happy. And this is really about, we become motivated by our desire to act according to our ideals and beliefs. Sagittarius, apart from just, ruling long distance travel, higher education, Sagittarius is all about expanding our minds, and it's also about faith, belief, and spirituality. And so now Mars being a very action-oriented planet, a planet that is concerned with initiation, we're going to want to move according to what we believe in and what we have faith in, and being very strong and convicted in those beliefs. Additionally, we'll want to start new adventures, blaze new trails, start new projects, initiate a whole bunch of things on a very grand scale, right? The only thing you'll have to keep in mind is that Mars in Sagittarius is like great for starting things, but not necessarily finishing. So you may have all of these projects that you start, you may have multiple projects, or you may have one big project. It's going to be very important for you to keep your level of motivation high, because in the beginning, you're going to be really fired up. You're going to be like, yes, I want to do this. Let's do it. Let's go for it. And then shortly thereafter, you're going to be like, whatever, or it goes by the wayside or anything like that. So that's definitely going to be something that you're going to be mindful of when Mars enters Sagittarius. All right, so moving right along, we have the full moon in Gemini going down on December 18th. And obviously, if you've watched any of my videos before, you already know that full moons illuminate. Full moons are either the culmination of a manifestation or they illuminate something that's been hidden. Gemini rules communication, it rules siblings, it rules extended family members, short distance travel, business, sort of your everyday busy body kind of energy is what Gemini is. And so with this, you're going to find that you'll probably either be really busy around this full moon, your communication with people is going to ramp up, you may be taking short distance trips, maybe you planned a short distance trip sometime prior and now you're finally going on it. You may find that something that you thought about back at the new moon in Gemini back in June now is coming to fruition. You may find that just your general environment is just busy. That's sort of how this full moon is going to play out. And again, that is on December 18th. Moving right along, the next day on December 19th, we have Venus going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn is very serious as well. Just like I spoke about Mercury in Capricorn being serious, Venus is the same thing, but its energy is more focused on relationships, money, things that we value, aesthetics, beauty, comfort, luxury. All of those things become very serious, very tangible, and very down to earth. Venus in Capricorn is the energy that's going to get you to save money to buy a big ticket item. It's going to have you make a plan of action to redo your house, have a relationship. It's very practical, diligent, and down to earth. That's when Venus is direct in Capricorn. So now when Venus is retrograde in Capricorn, we take that energy and we direct it inward. So this really becomes what are the things that I value in my life? What is important to me? What are the criteria that I need to be in a relationship? Everything that Venus is about, we direct that inward. And being in Capricorn, we take a very practical, down-to-earth focus to it. Even creativity becomes very much more practical. How do I do things? How do I make money from what I create? What values are important to me in relationships with respect to assets? What's fair in my life? Am I being fair to myself? So that Venusian energy, everything Venus is going to be directed inward when Venus goes retrograde. And again, that's on December 19th. Moving right along, on December 21st, Capricorn season officially begins when the sun moves into Capricorn. So there's a lot of Capricorn energy this month. So if you feel like December is really sort of heavy, it's sort of not very exciting. I mean, the holidays are around, so there's that certain element to that. But maybe you think about the holidays in terms of how much money am I spending? How much overtime do I have to work in order to buy people presents? Those are the sort of Capricorn-like thoughts that are characteristic of the sun in Capricorn. We become very disciplined. Work becomes a real thing. We focus on getting things done in a practical, down-to-earth sort of way. Our status in life becomes something that we become concerned about. Business, all of those sort of mundane, practical things are what are characteristic of Capricorn season. And again, that begins on December 21st when the sun moves into Capricorn. And then finally, we close out the month with Jupiter heading into its home sign of Pisces. Jupiter in Pisces is like love, an overdose of love. Jupiter is all about expansion and growth, right? And so Jupiter in Pisces is really about expanding our awareness of spirituality, compassion, and love, but love on a grander scale. It's not like how you love your parent, how you love your child, how you love your spouse or your significant other. It's how you love humanity. Your love grows and your love expands, right? You start to, Pisces is a very intuitive sign. It's a very sensitive sign and an empathic sign. So whenever there is a planet in Pisces, particularly Jupiter, we feel other people's emotions. We feel sensitive, compassionate, and empathic towards other people in a very big way, which is great because that helps us understand people and just spread love, right? But the thing with Pisces is that it can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. And so in feeling everything on a grand scale, you really may have the tendency to lose yourself. You start taking on other people's emotions, taking on other people's shit, and you get lost in the sauce essentially. And with Pisces, the symbol for Pisces being fish, you're sort of literally lost in the sauce, right? So with Jupiter in Pisces, what's going to be really important is for you to feel everything, right? But also take the time and extra room to feel for yourself. So you're going to have to close off to the world at times, rest, recharge, and get back to yourself, because there's going to be a tendency to lose yourself. There's going to be a tendency to really, like I said, get lost in the sauce. So that is December in a nutshell. If you want to know more about what December has to offer, you can either check out the horoscopes, which are on my website, link in the description box below, or you can get a personal horoscope that is designed specifically for you. Whether it's 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months, you can figure out what December or any other month for that matter is going to look specifically for you. And if you want to order that link is in the description box as well. All right, Leo. So December 2021. It's going to be all about stability for you. It's going to be about maintaining and moving forward. It's going to be about keeping the status quo, keeping moving and staying in the process, because you guys, along with your other fixed sign counterparts, namely Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you all have your succeedant houses, which are going to be emphasized. So by way of a quick astrology lesson, let me explain what that means. The astrological wheel is broken up into 12 houses, and those 12 houses are grouped into 3 different groups. This looks like 6, but I mean 3. 3 different groups. We have the angular houses, which is houses number 1, 4, 7, and 10. Those are the houses where you take action and you initiate things. The energy of the angular houses is very dynamic and it's very bold and strong, because that's the sort of energy that you need to initiate and start new things. Okay. Then you have the succeedant houses, which are houses 2, 5, 8, and 11. And those houses are about taking what you've created and now maintaining it. All right. So let's say you used a whole bunch of energy in order to create money. Now, when you move on to the succeedant houses, now it's about maintaining and holding on to that money. Okay. And then finally, we have the cadent houses, and the cadent houses are where things break down, things deteriorate, and things shift and change in order to get you to think about things in a new and innovative sort of way, and in order for you to start the process all over again. So the best way to think about everything that I just described is with a plant. So in the angular houses, that's where you're planting the seed. In the succeedant houses, that is where you're watering and nurturing the plant. And in the cadent houses, that is when the plant starts to wither and eventually die, okay? And so again, for you guys, December is all about succeedant houses. So this means that you are maintaining what you have. So this is all about moving forward. It's all about staying in the process, continuing the journey, and holding on to everything that you have, all right? So let's take a deep dive into the month chronologically, I guess, and see how this month is going to play out for you. So we start out the month in the sign of Sagittarius, and that is lighting up your 5th house of self-expression, romance, and children. You tend to like this house because the 5th house is the natural house of Leo. Leo loves to stand out. You love to be dramatic. You love to be romantic and have fun. And that is the essence and the energy of the 5th house. So that's exactly what's going to happen during Sagittarius season. Being that it's a succeedant house, it's all about maintaining that level of enjoyment and creativity that you've had over the past couple of months or maybe even couple of years, okay? So it's about maintaining. So for Sagittarius season, you're going to have the sun in Sagittarius, the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. You're going to have Mercury and Mars in that house. So there's a lot of planetary energy in that house this month. And again, it's all about maintaining the status quo. I feel like what's going to happen, particularly during the new moon solar eclipse, is I think things are going to shift in your life that's going to show you how important it is to really express yourself and how important it is to maintain a certain level of creativity in your life and even a certain level of fun, because the 5th house covers things that are fun and enjoyable and things that make your heart sing. And I feel like the new moon solar eclipse is definitely going to remind you of that, again, in an effort to maintain that in your life going forward. Moving right along, we have an emphasis on the 6th house of work and health once the sun moves into the sign of Capricorn. Now, the 6th house is not a succeedant house. It's actually a cadent house. So by the time Capricorn season rolls around, when it comes to work and health, this is where you're going to see things start to deteriorate and break down. This is not to get worried. I don't want you to think that your health is going to go to shit once Capricorn season hits, but you're going to experience some changes that are going to get you to go in a new direction with respect to work and health. So maybe things at work go to shit. Maybe things are completely disorganized. Maybe you even lose your job. Maybe things change in a way that is sort of permanent. Okay. And that's going to get you to be innovative, open your mind, and think of a solution to that problem so you can take action later on. Same thing with health. You may have a health issue that now may be clearing up, or you may have an emphasis on a health issue that's going to get you to address a pressing health matter, for instance, okay? And in Capricorn, we've got the sun, we've got Venus retrograde, we've got Mercury, and we've got Pluto. So again, this is another house that has a lot of planetary energy. And I feel like on the work and health front, generally, you guys have been undergoing a transformation, particularly since Pluto has been in there for a minute. And I feel like Venus retrograde is going to get you to think about what you value when it comes to work, what you value in terms of your health and things of that nature. So it's going to be sort of a reflective month with Venus retrograde, but it's also going to be a month of things sort of winding down and coming to a culmination. That's during Capricorn season. Then we move on to the 8th house, which is also a succeedant house. And that is the house of sex, regeneration, death, rebirth, shared resources, and intimacy. And that is going to be highlighted with Neptune going direct in Pisces and Jupiter moving into Pisces. So when it comes to intimacy, you guys are going to have a very romantic, sort of idyllic fantasy vision or view of intimacy. Also, when it comes to shared resources, you guys may overestimate things. And by shared resources, I mean joint bank accounts, loans, mortgages, taxes, insurance policies. All of those things fall within the purview of the 8th house. Jupiter likes to expand things and make things grow. Neptune, especially now that it's going direct, is very much about fantasy and illusion. So I feel like you guys aren't necessarily going to be realistic when it comes to things like loans, mortgages, things like that. So you're going to want to be mindful. Don't overspend, particularly money that you don't have. be mindful of being too idealistic when things may not be that rosy. Okay, so you're going to want to be a little grounded when it comes to that. And again, that's the 8th house. And it's also going to be about maintaining those things. You don't want to let Jupiter and Neptune direct completely blow your common sense out the window. Neptune has a way of idealizing and fantasizing things. And when we're talking about shared resources and we're talking about this 8th house energy of maintaining and holding on to what you have, you're going to need to be a little realistic, even though everything is going to make you feel like not being realistic or not wanting to address things or sweeping things under the rug. Take care of what you need to take care of, particularly when it comes to shared resources, so that, you can hold on to them and you can maintain them. Same thing with intimacy. It's great that Jupiter and Neptune will allow you to be more optimistic about intimacy, okay? So you're going to want to tap into your creative side when it comes to intimacy and sex, okay? Moving right along, the last and final house that is highlighted for you this month is your 11th house of associations, friendships, goals, and ambitions. And again, this is a succeeding house, so you're going to want to maintain those things, maintain your friendships, maintain group identity or group memberships. Whatever goals or ambitions you've been working on, you're going to want to keep doing what you're doing to keep working at it. Don't give up. And this becomes highlighted with the full moon in Gemini happening on December 18th. And at that time, something regarding your friends or your goals is going to be highlighted, which may make you very emotional and may make you want to quit, may make you want to stop being friends with someone, stop associating with certain groups of people. It may make you feel like giving up on a dream, giving up on a goal that you've been working towards, but you need, again, this is a house of maintaining. So you're going to want to muster up all of the motivation, the drive and determination that you have in order to stay the course with these things, okay? For some of you, I want you to think back to June of this year at the new moon in Gemini. At that time, you may have declared this goal that you wanted to achieve. You may have finally decided on some sort of ambition that you wanted to go after. You may have decided to start hanging out with different people, associating with different people. And at this full moon in Gemini, now you're going to see things come to fruition. You may be very far along on your journey with respect to a goal or ambition, or that goal or ambition may finally come to fruition at this full moon. Some of you may see how your friendship has developed, your associations have developed, from when you first began 6 months ago. Okay. That's pretty much how December is going to pan out for you, Leo. And again, it's all about maintaining and stabilizing. All right. So now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Leo. So you know the deal. We've got 3 separate messages, 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career and money. So without further ado, let's get into it. And we'll start with the general message. All right, so right out. There we go. All right, Leo, we've got by the book. All right. This is the essence of the energy of December for you. See how these elephants are just walking along in size order. Like it's about doing things by the book. It's keep going. The messages keep going. 1 foot in front of the other. 1 foot in front of the other. All right, let's see what else we have here. Okay, we've got, 9 of Cups. This is about wishes fulfilled. So if you do things by the book, right? Especially if you have other people who are helping you or guiding you, if you do things by the book, your wish is going to be fulfilled. And this is giving me very much 11th house vibes, right? 11 here. Having your wishes fulfilled, that is the essence of the 11th house. And you have that emphasis this month, particularly with the full moon in Gemini. So this is about staying the course with respect to a goal or ambition you have, particularly if you have an association that you're part of, if you have a group of friends that are helping you, just keep doing what you're doing. And you're going to have exactly what it is that you want, okay? Let's get another card here for this general message. Okay. Oh, we've got house. This is about security. This is also a number 2. So this is about maintenance. You know, a house, when you own a home, there's a lot of maintenance that goes with it. And that's sort of what I'm getting with respect to either an association that you have or with an ambition. For some of you, I'm hearing homeowners association. That may be of significance to you this month. For others of you, the goals and the ambitions that you have in life have a certain amount of maintenance to them. Apart from just thinking about the goal and being optimistic about the goal, sometimes there are action steps that need to be taken, right? And it's sort of like in this fashion. There are action steps that need to be taken in order to complete that goal or reach that goal or complete that ambition, right? And you've got to stay the course. You got to keep doing what you're doing. You got to keep working at it right now, okay? That's basically the general message. So now let's move on to love and see what else we have. Oops, that's too many. Let's see. It's Leo for love and romance. So 2 cards came out. First card out we have is Know Your Worth. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Know what you bring to the table. Oh, and we've got reciprocity. This is beautiful energy. All right. I'm hearing don't get lost in the sauce. I feel like some of you are in a really great relationship or you're in a really great point in your life. Sorry, that's the garbage truck. It's really loud. You're at a great point of your life. If you got a great point in your life if you're single, right? Right. So for those of you that are single, you're at a really good point in your life. Like you're really enjoying yourself. You're not down or depressed about being single. You're just living your best life, right? And Spirit is like, okay, keep that same energy. And if you get into a relationship, make sure that it's reciprocal. Make sure that person matches your energy and that they know your worth, right? For those of you that are in a relationship, knowing your worth, working on you and your self-esteem is only going to be mirrored back to you by your partner. So some of you need to work on yourself. You need to work on your self-esteem and your self-concept. And that will be reflected to you by your partner. And then you're going to have this. So either way, relationship is looking good right now. Looking very good. Regardless, you're feeling very good. Most importantly, you're feeling good about yourself. All right. Let's get another card on here. Ooh, perfect. We've got the 6 of Cups. This is about the past, nostalgia. So some of you may be reverting back to past emotions with respect to relationships. So I think the card that Know Your Worth here is to remind you that perhaps you've overcome a self-esteem issue, okay? For others of you, whatever's going on this month may have you feeling less than great about yourself. And Spirit is like, I need you to get it together. I need you to remember who you are, remember whose you are, remember what you do, know your worth, and move accordingly. So there's this energy of nostalgia, either showing you how far you come or what you need to overcome. Okay, let's get one more card here. Beautiful. We've got marriage. All right, Leo. So yeah, this is where some of you are headed. This is definitely where some of you are headed. I think this is what everyone has in mind. But this is about feeling good in this. It's not just about having this. It's about feeling good about yourself, about your partner, about your relationship. And it all starts with your self-esteem. So by and large, the message for the relationship sector of this reading is really about feeling good about yourself, knowing your worth, getting your self-esteem up high, whether you're single, whether you're dating, or whether you're married. Within any of those stages, it's time to get your self-image and your self-esteem up to par. Okay, now let's get into career and see what we have here. This is for Leo for December 2021. All right. We've got clouds. Things may not be that clear to you at this moment. There are things that may be cloudy, particularly when it comes to people that you work with, partners. Like, you may not be able to see the situation for what it really is because your judgment may be clouded at this time. Okay, let's get some more cards and see what we have. Okay, we have the Chariot. There are certain moves that you want to make right now, But this may not be the time to make them because you're not seeing things for the reality of the situation. And again, the energy of this month isn't about making a lot of moves. It's not about a lot of dynamic energy. It's really about maintaining the status quo and holding on to what you have. So you may want to resist the urge to make a move right now, because what you may be perceiving is not necessarily what is happening in reality. Your judgment is clouded. So hold tight and hold off on making any moves at this time. Let's get one more card to close out this reading. We have bad health. So for some of you, I feel like you think that things are a lot worse than they really are. For others of you, you think that things are better than they actually are. Regardless, what you're seeing and what you're perceiving is not what's really going on. So again, hold off on making any money moves. Hold off on making any career or job moves at this point. Stay where you're at. And once those clouds dissipate and you can really see the situation for what it is, then you can make the decision to move or stay put or do whatever you want. All right. So to recap what's going on for you this month, Leo, we've got, on the one hand, stay the course. Certain goals and aspirations have some maintenance to them, and you really have to be in that maintenance mind frame, which means keep moving step by step by step. Do what you need to do to get to the end result. When it comes to love, love is looking good and it's feeling good because you first and foremost feel good about yourself. All of the things that you want with relationships can be yours, but you have to work on yourself first. For those of you that have, congratulations, it's going to be reflected to you in your love life via a partner, which may lead to marriage. For others of you, you need to do a little more work on your self-esteem and your self-image. But once you do, things are going to click right into place. And again, when it comes to career, stay where you're at. Don't make any sudden moves because you're not necessarily seeing things for how they are. But again, the whole thread that runs through the month of December is all about stability and maintenance. So stay the course. Keep the status quo and you'll be just fine. All right, my loves, that has been the Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of December 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal tarot reading with me or order a personalized astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out, don't forget to hit up my website, sign up for my newsletter. I give a whole bunch of free content on a regular basis, so sign up everywhere you can so you never miss out. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.